Well, hello 4E, and we're back again to talk about estimating large numbers. If you haven't done the warm-up yet, please do so. We might take it up tomorrow if you don't get a chance to take it up today, but I want you to have a look at the warm-up. This is just stuff that we've done. So if you haven't done it, do it at some point in time. Now we're going to take a look at estimating large numbers. So our goal is I can use different strategies for estimating large numbers. So the ability to estimate a reasonable value is actually many times more useful in everyday life than calculating exactly. Most times, an estimate is all you really need. So, do you actually care if there are about 200 students at a dance or exactly 207? Probably you can say, oh, there's about 200 here. You don't really care the exact number of students. Do you really care if your plane flight is about 2.5 hours or exactly 2 hours and 25 minutes? Probably, well, it depends on whether you've got someone waiting for you. They might want to know exactly how long you get there. But most of the time you're going to say, oh no, it's about 2.5 hours. So estimating and just getting a rough estimate of stuff is usually as good as we need in everyday life. So we're going to take a look at estimating the number of people in a picture. This is getting really, I'm going to have to, let's shrink this a little bit so we can see the whole thing. So can you estimate the number of people in the picture? How are we going to estimate the number of people in the picture? Do you think there's more than 20? Do you think there's less than 20? I think there's definitely more than 20. So I want you to look at that and sort of get a kind of a rough estimate. So think about it. I'm going to think about it too. Without counting, I think that I'm going to say there's probably somewhere around 40 to 50 people in there. So let's say 40 to 50. Do you think I've got it right on? Obviously not, because I gave a range of data in there, 40 or 50. Describe what strategy you used in part A. Well, here's what I did. I just took a look and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this little portion of the picture, which is there's about 10 in there. And I went, well, maybe I can fit in more of those portions around, that I could probably fit about 5 squares that have 10 people in them around there. So 50 was my rough estimate. So describe the strategy. I looked at a smaller, that's not an L, I looked at a smaller portion and counted, yeah, really messing this one up, counted the people there. Then estimated how many portions there were. Okay, is that what you would do? Is there any other way that you would do it? Compare that with some of your friends that are in the classmate. Now, what else could we do? Well, we could actually divide it up. So in this one here, we actually have a grid. So we could take a look at the grid and say, okay, well, let's actually divide it into smaller portions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 across there. So let's divide it into 3 groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then up the side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to maybe do 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the top one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little bit bigger on the top one, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So let's actually divide it up. And what we have here is basically 9 squares that are close to being the same width. They're not the same size. These ones are a little bit bigger, okay, but we can take that into consideration. And now let's just sort of count one of them. So I'm going to count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's basically 9 in there. Some of these people are kind of cut off. So it looks like there's about 9 in that space. And we've got 9 spaces. So by that estimate, we have 9 people in a space and we have 9 spaces. That would give me 81. So that's a little bit more than what I estimated before. And we could do it that way, but it's still an estimate. It's still not huge. Okay. So that's what we did down here. We picked one square and we counted 9 people, and there are 9 squares in the picture. So we did 9 times 9 and we get 81. So state one advantage of using this method estimating the number of people in the picture. This method is kind of what I did before. I basically counted 10 people and then decided that that area went around the other way. This is more systematic, okay? More systematic than a guess, than just a guess. And that there's a good chance that if you do it more systematically, that you're going to get a better estimate. So it leads to a better estimate. State one disadvantage of using this method of estimating the number of people in the picture. Well, here's the biggest disadvantage, is that take a look at this picture, this part of the picture over here. We don't have near as many people here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 people in here. And there was 9 over in here, and some of them may even have more than 9. This one might have more than 9. So there are some spaces that are not evenly, the people aren't evenly spread out. So people not evenly spread. So what that will do is leads to an overestimate. So you have to try to balance it out and know the limitations of what you've done. And you can maybe take that into consideration when you're giving your answer. You say, well, I think there's 81, but these ones over here weren't anywhere near as crowded, so maybe I won't count 9 for those spaces. Okay. What's the next one say here? Okay, so this one, I'm just going to talk about it and then I'm going to let you finish it. It says, Mai wants to build a rectangular patio in her backyard. The patio will be built in the center of 4 trees, which form a rectangle. Mai is using square patio stones for that measure 12 by 12. So 12 inches is 1 foot. So if this is 15 feet this way and 10 feet this way, then they need 15 stones this way and 10 stones that way. So how many do they need altogether? Okay, so I want you to try and calculate that, and then I want you to carry on and do the rest of this estimating things. So here's an estimating costs. When going out grocery shopping, it's important to have a budget. When you shop, it's difficult to add actual prices unless you have a calculator with you, which pretty much everybody does these days, so you could just take your phone out of your pocket. But most people don't do that. Most people try to keep a running total in their mind. So rounding the prices of items helps you to estimate the total of groceries. So we want you to create a grocery list for a couple in their 20s with an infant. So they've got a baby. So you're going to look for like baby food or fresh vegetables that they can mash up for baby food, things like that. The couple has a weekly budget of $150. So take a look at store flyers and see if you can come up with and you know what? I'm going to change that. The price of food right now is a whole lot more. A budget of $150, they're really going to go hungry. So I'm going to say they have a weekly budget of $250. And you can try and find a grocery list for $250. And take a look online. You can use your cell phones. Look for flyers. Go to the grocery store. Go to Zehrs or Walmart. Zehrs and Walmart, they have lots of stuff that are listed that you can find prices for. And I want you to come up with the item, get the actual cost and the rounded cost. So let's say we find an item here. I'm just going to pause this and find you an item. Pause. Okay, I'm back, and I'm back with a couple of baby items that I found since this couple has an infant. So the first thing that I found was these cheesy snack, little crunchies cheddar cheesy snack thingy, and it says $2.99 each. So if it's $2.99 each, we're going to say the cheese snacks, and you don't have to write this down, you can do your own. I'm just doing this as an example. So the cheese snacks, the actual cost is $2.99, but we're not going to keep $2.99 in our head. We're going to round that up to $3. And this little organics apple beaten flax pouch, so this is a fruit pouch, we're going to keep in our head not $1.39, that's silly. We're going to round that up to, and I usually go to the closest 50 cents, so $1.50. So this is the rounded cost that we're going to keep that in our head. So I want you to do the same thing. Go and find online. You can work in pairs if you want. Find online and make a little list. Fill in this whole chart and give the rounded cost. Then you're going to do an estimated total just by kind of doing a running total from here and try to get up to, remember, you're not going past $250. And this is a grocery store list for the week. So go online and try and find those items. And then answer some of these things here. These are some more things. Put your head together. There's not a whole lot here. You're going to spend probably the bulk of your time uh, looking up options here, and try to do the best that you can. Think about what they might need for a week for food and stuff for themselves and their child, and do a good job of this part here. Okay. And we're going to leave it at that. Make sure you fill in all the rest of them. Think about what you're doing here. This is the end of it. Check your understanding is another area that you can think about. So give it some time, talk to your other classmates, and see what you can do with it.